Main screen turn on. Listen to me rant, watch me play a game, or preferably try to do both at the same time. This is Discourse Display. Hello everybody, I'm Yidoger and this is my co-commentator Nemesis. And here we are, the latest Nintendo Direct and supposed final Smash video presentation. Now, there's a lot of games that I could have chosen to play this commentary alongside, but I'm sticking with Yoshi's Island this time around. Not because of a lack of better options, but because I want to beat this game and I'm already nearing the end. And hey, Smash is a Nintendo property, this game is too, so it all comes together. Starts off with a clip that seems to be from Fire Emblem Fates, that links directly into a new character being announced, Corrin, from said game. Another Fire Emblem representative, making that series have 6 in total, and another sword user. Though I have to admit that the dragon transformation attacks do look pretty sweet. Also comes in both male and female variations like Robin before, and the Wii Fit Trainer and Villager for that matter. As I've said in several Discourse display videos before this one, I don't have much interest in the game, and I don't particularly like Corrin's design, especially the fact that he wears armor but walks around bare feet. But this review trailer is pretty cool regardless. Gameplay-wise he does look pretty interesting, though his final smash is kind of lame. Buying him on the Wii U version also gets you 2 new music tracks, whereas a purchase on the 3DS gives 2 trophies from characters from his game, which is a nice bonus, but not really a deal sealer. And Corrin gets released in February. I'll make a deal with you right now, Nintendo. If he gets released on the 7th, which is my birthday, I will give you my money regardless of not having much interest in the character. The previously announced Cloud is then discussed in more detail. I already talked about certain aspects in the previous Discourse display, so I won't go into that again, but you can click the thumbnail to go to the exact moment of the video if you're interested. I still feel that though Cloud is the ultimate geek edition, there were other Final Fantasy characters that are more deserving of a spot in this game. Perhaps one day I'll do another new Challenger video on one of my own ideas. We do get more information on his moves though. His limit break functions identical to Little Max's KO gauge in that it fills up when dealing out and receiving damage, though his down special also increases it, which is also the only way of seeing how much progress it has to its, well, limit. Having it at max slightly increases his stats, and it also makes his specials more powerful, as well as giving them more launch power, or in the case of his up special, where we have to move more upwards momentum. But his down special is replaced with a different move altogether, Finishing Touch, which does 1% damage but has huge launch power. I don't find his gameplay to be too interesting, to be honest. Seems very much alike to Ike, with a little bit of Little Max sprinkled in. The Midgard stage is also further discussed, and my views remain the same as before. The summoning element is pretty cool, but the stage is a bit too small for it. Will be fun enough in 1 vs 1, but with more characters noobing around, the chaos will only increase to hectic proportions, where no one will be able to tell what's going on anymore. Basically, it's much like the Pokemon stages in that regard, and things can only get more crazy with Pokeballs and assist trophies on as well. As a side note, I had a good laugh at the official new Challenger artwork, where Cloud faces off against Link and you get to see either how tiny the Master Sword is, or the hugeness of the Buster Sword, depending on how you look at it. Chocobo hat for Mii Fighters was announced before, but also a Geno outfit from Super Mario RPG for the Mii Gunner is revealed. More outfits for the Miis are announced, and I won't go into them all since I either don't find them interesting or I don't know the characters they're based on. But ones that do deserve a mention for me are the Tails outfit for the Gunner, which gave me a good laugh because it has the Sonic Heroes theme playing as it was revealed. And Tails doesn't even use a gun in that game. They honestly should have included Tails' lap theme from Sonic Battle instead. At least that was a Game Boy Advance exclusive. Knuckles is also shown for the Brawler, which made me laugh even more, as the Mii character had a dirty little beard that was visible, making it look like a cosplayer with shabby appearance. Again with the same song, which now makes sense, since all three characters from Team Sonic from that game are playable now. Kinda. But I still would have liked the music from Sonic Battle as well. That game deserves some more love. There's also QR codes on the official website that can be scanned to get the Mii characters used in the official trailers they're seen in. Nice if you don't feel like figuring out how to make the faces yourself and want to use them as CPU opponents or something. Knuckles isn't in there though. I would have scanned that just for a laugh. The last DLC character this game will see is then announced, and it's Bayonetta, a fitting character since it was a pretty high-profile Wii U exclusive. The reveal trailer is pretty wicked as well, where she faces off and trash talks Pt013, a reference to the plotline in her games. She got in through the Smash ballot, where she's the top pick from the actually negotiable characters. I have a feeling that this was kind of rigged, but I won't go deeper into that. I do remember saying in an earlier video when the ballot was just revealed that it was only there to create a sense of giving power to the people. Still, most of the outfits that have been released are probably based on the ballot results, so there's that at least. But back to the witch. Her gameplay seems pretty interesting, being a character whose every move seems to land multiple hits, and a lot seem to launch characters into the air with a decent amount of stun time, so she'll probably be strong off the ground. If you keep the button pressed, she'll also shoot bullets, which, while dealing damage, do not stun, so that would be best used at the end of early combos to rack up some additional damage. Her down special is a counter-like move where she evades damage and slows the opponent who attacked her down, leaving them very open for additional hits. The higher the damage of the opponent, the longer the slowdown will last, but using it too often will decrease the duration to counter spamming. If your timing with this move isn't perfect though, Bayonetta will transform into a flock of bats and evade the attack thrown at her. She can even use her up special before and after a jump, so she has good recovery options as well. Her final smash slows down everyone hit by it, after which you need to do as much damage as possible to summon a demon named Gomorrah, who will do some additional damage and then KO everyone who's above 100%. All in all, she seems like one of the more technical characters in this game. I don't know if I play her a lot myself, but she'll certainly appeal to certain crowds. She has a lot of special effects surrounding her moves while being hit, and in a Wii U version even her shadow, giving her a lot more flair and personality compared to the other fighters. Her taunt even makes her dance, so is highly usable for taunt parties. Might even have to revise the top 10 list I made about that ages ago. She also comes with a new stage, Umbra Clock Tower. It's a single central platform with several smaller ones moving about. It has some background characters flying around as well, but they don't seem to interact with the players. Also comes with 11 songs and 3 trophies, so that's pretty sweet. The official new Challenger artwork is also one of the more beautiful ones in my opinion. Also, amiibo news. Obviously. Ryu, Roy, and Famicom Call It Rob are shown, being commercially released on the 18th of March next year. The other 3 DLC characters announced in this direct will also get amiibo. I wonder if they'll have connectivity with anything other than Smash. At the very least, it would be a nice bonus for the Fire Emblem ones to be compatible with codename Steam, like the previous ones from that series. I can only dream of the older Final Fantasy games from the NES and SNES getting a virtual console release, with Cloud being added to the party when his amiibo is scanned. That would be pretty awesome. A stat count of characters, stages, songs and trophies is shown then. It does make me kind of nostalgic about the whole journey through this game, but let's have an objective look at what's been released. Let's start with the stages. I feel it's kind of disappointing that the console and handheld versions have exclusive ones between them. I guess I kind of see the point from a sales standpoint, but honestly, the only reason to pick up the 3DS one and not the Wii U version should be not actually owning a Wii U, since that one is pretty much superior in almost every way. Likewise, the only reason to really pick up the handheld game nowadays is to be able to play Smash on the go. If insufficient memory was an issue for the 3DS game, then that's a good reason for having fewer stages, but as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason that not every stage should be available on the Wii U. I also really like the fact that some old Nintendo 64 stages came back. I would have really liked the Saffron City stage personally though, that one was one of my faves. The addition of Omega Forms is also pretty great. I don't really use them myself, but I can see the added value of them in competitive play. Seems boring otherwise to only have Final Destination selectable. And it's good to see that scene being taken into account as well. Speaking of version exclusive features, it's a shame that Smash Run isn't on a Wii U version. I feel it's the most fun aspect of the 3DS version and superior to Smash Tour in literally every imaginable way. And as we so naturally float into the subject of game modes, 8-player Smash is terrific. I prefer the 3DS's classic mode over that of the Wii U though, but I respect they made them their own things, so it wouldn't be too repetitive for those who own both. I dislike the fact that you need coins to play though. All-Star mode I feel was better in these games than previous installments due to facing opponents in a predetermined order based on the time period they first appeared. Made it feel like going through Nintendo's history, which is exactly the feeling this franchise should be giving. The Stadium mode games were nice enough, though I had to play them too many times for the challenges in the 3DS version, and thus am not really planning on doing too much of them in the Wii U one. Target Blast wasn't particularly thrilling though, and I wouldn't mind it not being in a possible predecessor. But perhaps, most importantly and most interesting, my thoughts on the final roster. First of all, I'm still somewhat disappointed by Zelda and Sheik and Power and Zero Suit Samus being separate entities now. I honestly feel it takes away something from their characters. Same goes for Pokemon Trainer being dropped and having just Charizard. I feel the character was a lot more fun with the option of having 3 other playable characters to switch out to. Ice Climbers being dropped is also pretty unforgivable, I feel. If the 3DS couldn't handle them, they should have at least been in a Wii U version. Concerning newcomers, I especially like the fact that Bowser Jr. has palette swaps to the other Koopalings. That's just a great touch. Little Mac I felt should have been included since at least Brawl if not Melee, and Wii Fit Trainer was a true surprise. Was disappointed with Duck Hunt Duo at first, but they had an amazing reveal trailer, and thinking about it more, they do deserve a spot in this game as NES reps. I still don't really see why Greninja had to be included. The latest Pokemon generation already had their representative in Charizard, and later Mewtwo as far as I'm concerned, since they used the Mega Evolution that was introduced in that gen. Really, that's the only character I would have liked to see replaced with something better. Other than clones though. I can tolerate Dr. Mario since he's a veteran, but putting Lucina and Dark Pit in I feel is kind of a troll move. Especially the Awakened character, since Roy would later make the cut as well, and he was also already a Marth clone. Perhaps it would have been a bit less sour if older clones, Wolf, Pichu and young Link also returned. Especially the latter they could have done something interesting with. I can only imagine him being based on this Majora's Mask incarnation, complete with mask transformations, and fierce deity Link as a final smash. Perhaps for the next game. Anyway, I'm obviously not a huge fan of Lucas being a DLC character due to these reasons, and impartial about Roy because while the same statements are still true, he was one of my favorites in Melee. Mewtwo should have never been replaced by Lucario to begin with though, so him coming back is great. And lastly, Ryu. Since I did a video on him, why he should be included in the How I Saw Him Work ages ago, I can only say that I approve, though I honestly wish he'd have been made with some of the mechanics of my own device implemented. I would have also liked to see Snake return, to be honest, and with Metal Gear Solid having gotten a 3DS port, released about 2.5 years prior to Smash 4, he was more relevant now than he was during Brawl, where he appeared on the previous generation's console, the GameCube, in a port of the original MGS subtitled The Twin Snakes, and that one was released 4 years before the third Smash game came around. Of course, there's always something to moan about, and honestly, the only way to completely satisfy me would be to have an installment where everything from before was included, which means all characters, stages, and music, but of course expanded even more, as well as a story mode that's more than the simple diversion that the Subspace Emissary was. But as it is, I feel that while the stages aren't as great as I would like, the roster is an awesome ensemble of characters from Nintendo's history, and the gameplay remains strong as ever. So regardless of my complaints, I do feel like this is the best Smash as of yet, and I look forward to playing it for the following years to come. Until the next one is released, that is. And with that, I'm signing off. Hope to see you next video.